Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the program. You know, in our last episode, we covered the whole issue of migrant families and immigrant detention in the United States, the privatization of that process, the role of private prison companies in that process. And one of the points of our coverage last week was the point that we are treating refugee families as if they were de facto prisoners, as if the default assumption about them was that they were criminals, perhaps awaiting investigation or whatever. That's the only reason why you would, in fact, choose to hire a prison company to house immigrant families. And to be honest with you, I have a serious problem with that. Now, to underscore the nature of the humanitarian problem we face, and I emphasize the word humanitarian, new statistics have been published recently and were covered in, among other places, Slate.com. The violence which people are fleeing, especially children, coming from Central American gangs is nothing short of devastating. In fact, as of June 30th of this year, the number of unaccompanied migrant children coming from Central America that have been encountered by the U.S. Border Patrol this year had already surpassed the total for the entire year 2015. So basically, you know, this problem was a trickle in 2009, 2010, 2011, and so on. Started to rise in 2012, rose dramatically in 2013, was well above 50,000 people, almost 55,000 children in 2014. Then in 2015 dropped off a little bit, but it's way up again. We're going to see something on the order of 50,000 or more unaccompanied children coming to the United States this year. And sadly, many of them will be housed by a prison corporation rather than a humanitarian organization. Now, we're talking about gangs like Mara Salvatrucha in El Salvador. These are gangs that threaten third and fourth grade girls with sexual assault, that attempt to recruit 12 and 13-year-old boys into the gang, that make entire neighborhoods life-threatening and even deadly for these young children. So we are really talking about a life and death situation for kids. Now, people have said, politicians have said very unsympathetic things about these children and their families. They have even said, for example, that the parents are irresponsible to send them. Now, I would argue very differently. I would argue that parents who feel that they have to send their children away, carried away by strangers to a place far away, must be must have hearts that are breaking inside. They must be suffering terribly. The children, God knows what they've gone through on their journey to the United States. We need to start treating this for what it is, a humanitarian disaster of almost inconceivable proportions. Children that are being murdered in their own neighborhoods, raped in their own neighborhoods. It is our responsibility to welcome them as only the United States can.